a thing that I like to say a lot is when you play against Terran, you really have to kill his first army. If you can kill the first army, then you can win the game. But that never really happened. At no point was Strelok forced to reset his position.
Yeah, I like the one flank that Lucky was able to set where he attacked his opponent when he was not in siege mode, and he did a lot of damage, but every single engagement besides this one was just completely... It was kind of useless, and there was no point to it.
Yeah.
If the Terran player is sieging up directly in front of your main base, then or in front of your expansion, then you have to attack, and you might have to attack into a spot where you usually wouldn't want to attack. But I don't know. It was a little bit weird seeing those decisions that Lucky made, and I'm pretty sure that we are going to see a little bit of a different game on the second map, which is, as you can see, Cloud Kingdom. Not the best map for Zerg.
Yeah, I can't say that I've seen that many TVZs. Actually, I haven't seen any on this map just yet because I've been it's not in any of the ESL map pools just yet, so I've been mostly watching the older maps. What do you think about? I mean, you get to cast a lot of Korean StarCraft.
Yeah, the problem with this map, with the Cloud Kingdom in ZVT, is that it's really hard for the Zerg player to build the third and hold it against Terran. There are just so many pathways where you can attack. There are so many possibilities to drop your opponent, so many flanks that you can set, and it's just really a problem of defending. So usually, what we see quite often are some kind of two-base pressure plays by Zerg, because they realize that at some point, if they go for the third, they're just too vulnerable, too spread out, and that the Terran player can do too much damage. So the last games that I've seen in this matchup on this map were just attempts to end the game early.
Well, I wonder what Strelok's going to do in that case. It is a two-player map, and on two-player maps you can often see some really crazy like barracks cheese, but he's gotten a gas, so it looks like it'll be just another Hellion opening. Strelok is kind of like the slow and steady wins the race kind of guy. You know, he just kind of does the normal stuff. And through not making mistakes, gets himself ahead that way.
We have the Extractor already done for Lucky. Very, well, kind of early gas. Against Terran, we've seen a lot of style where you just take the gas very late, where you rely on 4 queens in the early game.
Yeah.
Try to get at least a macro hatch, if not a third, depending on the map, obviously. And a lot of Zerg players these days just try to go for a very Ling-heavy style with double upgrades after that. So right now we have early gas for Lucky, therefore he will have an earlier speed than we usually see in this matchup, and he can just try to get it a little bit more aggressive. Strelok is throwing down an expansion now. 1 barracks into expand, nothing too unusual.
Why is he doing that with his early gas?
That's the one thing that is a little bit unusual about it. The early gas rather indicates that he would either go for a factory now. Okay, so he's just switching it up. He's going for the factory for the command center first, and then adds the Hellions.
Yeah.
A little bit of a switch because he thinks he can get away
slightly more
with it.
economical in exchange for having map control a little bit later. So I don't mind it so much. I think it's kind of cool. Here we see that same poke with 3 Marines and that SCV. Lucky this time already has a couple units out on the map, so it's going to be harder for Strelok to do any damage. And I do not think, he's obviously not going to be able to kill that first creep teamer this time.
Yeah, this time there's just no chance. But I'm really eager to see what Lucky decides to do and from the after the early game, after the loader. What exactly is his strategy? If he wants to go for the third base, if he tries to defend it, if he tries to go for example for the Roach and Bailing all-in or attack that you've been talking about. And the problem is, or the thing is, you don't really have to play Roach Bailing as kind of an all-in.
Ooh, dope, Strelok! Oh, that's a bummer. But these Lings need to scout. What are you doing? Okay, good.
Yeah, finally.
So now he sees. So he knows that it's double expand. Now, this is important because it's going to allow Lucky to actually respond.
And he's going for the Roach Warren, and we might just see the Roach and Baneling all in. You can defend it if you go for a third base. There's definitely a couple of variations to the build where you can defend. You need a tank on the high ground. So this might still be something that Lucky sees as a trigger to go for the Roach Baneling attack. And he is now taking a second gas already. Let's have a look at how many harvests he has. He's on 30, so if you go for Roach Baneling, you usually go up to 35, 36 exactly. That's going to be pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, we'll see. Now he's starting to produce units, so...
Lucky knows everything that's happening. He's in the position where he knows exactly what his opponent is doing. Let's have a quick look to Strelok's base. He has the factory. Factory is ready, but is he adding the tech lab now? Is he going straight for the tank production? He should.
I'm thinking that this really will be a Roach play, because the way he went all the way up to 44 and then made multiple Overlords, he's got enough gas for about 8 Roaches.
And that's the Bane
nest
nest
goes down, yep.
At 36.
Yep. So this is well predicted, Khaldor.
And the thing is, to be completely honest with you, I have no idea if Strelok is able to hold it. He's not going for tanks, he's not going for Marauder, he is going for one starport, but the starport will already be a little too late. Strelok will see what's going to happen, but I don't think that he's able to hold that. 11 roaches now, we have the Baneling Nest, it will be done in time, and he is trying to wall off, but the bunker... what he could do, what he should do, is just trying to lift off the orbital command.
Great scan, though. He sees those roaches, and he should immediately say, that's more roaches than should be on the map right now.
He should try to... I'm not sure if I really agree with his decision to throw down the bunker in the second row. What we've seen a lot of players, like Jakji, for example, is just lifting the orbital command up, go into the main base, try to defend the single file ramp, and making sure that you get the at least the mules out in order to get it ahead. But he will lose so many supply depots now, and he's trying to defend it, and I don't think he can, because he's going for siege mode and tanks now, but it is already too late.
Oh no, those tanks are not going to finish. Now, if these Hellions can get some really great shots off on the Banelings, like before they manage to detonate, then that could affect the game.
It's going to be really tough.
It's going to be so. There's actually no unit. Okay, so he does have Marines in the first bunker.
This is going to be a really, really tough situation for Strelok. Here comes Lucky busting in. Immediately all of the Marines are dead and gone. The second bunker dies as well. He is trying to get up into the main base. He needs to kill... Oh, he is able to defend the main. He's able to defend the main.
Center.
The siege tank is there in time. And now he... I don't agree with the 16 Zerglings that he's building right now. In my opinion, he should just try to drone up behind it.
Drones now and you're ahead.
Exactly.
Double Evo chamber going down, though, so we can see that I think Lucky is going to start to transition. There are those drones. Damage done. If you look at resources lost, it's actually quite close. If we look at the units tab, we can see economically it's not that bad for Lucky. Man, if you had 8 more drones right now, it'd be quite good for Lucky.
Yeah, actually he's on 37 against 27, but there are 3 orbitals, so with the 3 orbitals he can get a very decent income. The second base, he's killing all the rocks there are, so he's just trying to make sure that he has a very good way of attack towards his opponent. And Strelok
looks so cool on the minimap.
Yeah, the 2 rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's droning up behind it, taking a third now that he knows that he has momentum, and he has the bigger army as well.
Yeah, I was. I'm pretty happy with Lucky's position right here. The triple orbital is kind of the trump card, though. So with that many mules, we can see on the income tab that Strelok is able to...
The medivac is immediately trying to fly into the main base of his opponent, and there is this one overlord in position already.
This is just the spot, man.
This is
the official overlord hangout.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where all the cool overlords go to chill.
And the cool Hellions try to go into the main base, but they are not able to pull it off. Not cool enough. Third base going up for Lucky now. +1/+1, so he's going into this double upgraded style that we've been talking about earlier.
Yeah, I'm thinking Roachling Infester. That's what he's working towards. Yep, there's that infestation pit. Hellions just kind of running away.
Oh, a little bit of a slip.
Don't lose your Hellions. Those are so important. It's such a valuable scouting tool.
The creep spread for Lucky is not all that bad. It's not perfect, but he's trying to connect his third now with the second, so he will be in a position where he can actually defend against what his opponent does. But there is the drop play. So he's trying to drop now into the main base. There are already a bunch of Banelings available, so he should be able to defend against it.
No, well, I mean, Strelok could just drop one Marine. No, Strelok, that's not what you want to do!
Yeah, nice.
Okay,
now he does it.
That actually worked out.
Yeah, it worked out quite well. I really like what he did there. He just went for the drops, dropped 1 Marine at a time after he lost a couple of them in the initial engagement.
Yeah, look at these 2 commandos. This is Arnold and Sylvester right here.
Yeah.
Doing a ton of damage. Like, get him out of there! No! Sylvester!
Arnold survives though. At least for now.
Nobody can kill Arnold.
Sleep faster.
Arnold is the Marine that comes back as an immortal, alright?
4th base build at the left. Another base for Lucky, and he gets the first infestors. He's going for pathogen glands. 3rd base also available for Strelok now. Quick look at the harvest account reveals that we have 72 drones against 50 SCVs.
5 infestors on the way, so that's going to be a very powerful tool against the bio of Strelok. Tank count right now, looks like 5 tanks on the field. Strelok's still just producing off a single factory, though.
Lucky's looking pretty strong now. He's looking pretty good, but the thing is that Strelok kind of shines in the mid and late game when he is able to focus on everything. He doesn't miss a beat, and Lucky, that's where Lucky slacked a bit in the last game. So the next few minutes are going to be crucial.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Fourth base is about to finish for Lucky, but it's also getting dropped, and I wonder if probably not. There's units in position, so Lucky should be able to keep this alive.
That's the one thing that is really annoying as a Zerg player when you decide to go for the infestation pit and for the infestors. It's really hard for you to deal with the drop play of your opponent. So the spire that he's building now while he's tagging to Hive is going to be very important. Not only because he's probably going for the for the Broodlords, but at the same time he might just decide on getting a 6 Mutalisks so that he can shut down the drop play.
Another drop down here around 6 o'clock, but there's lots of roaches. I love how Lucky's got units all around the map. It's just, like you said, Infestor's not as mobile as Muta, obviously.
And look at the Spine Crawlers. I love it. Everywhere he's building Spine Crawlers and Spore Crawlers. And this is exactly what you should do.
Perfect way to move into the late game. Hive is about 90% complete. Spire also finishing up, so it will be a greater Spire transition ultimately. Look at that. Spore Crawler even takes out that medevac.
Perfect positioning.
Those guys tried to be like Arnold and Sylvester, but they were just not nearly as cool.
Yeah, just
they heard war stories about their heroes, and they're like, we're going to do that, and then they just got killed by a giant spine crawler.
Oh, Sensor Tower. I like it. I love Sensor Towers. I really love them. I think they are so good, so powerful. And he will be aware of everything. He knows about the Overlord position, and we have the Greater Spire now. Investors, how many does he have? 7 is getting 2 additional ones. So 3 bases against 4 bases. Lucky could well take a 5th, and I guess very soon he will. He's on 160 supply once again, supply block. And we have him on 1,200. And as soon as the Overlords are done, he's going for 8 Corruptors at a time, adding a bunch of additional drones as well.
I swear I thought this Greater Spire was farther along. Did he cancel and restart that? I don't know. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Completely possible. Now what interests me, Khaldor, is this is the first time we're going to see late game TVZ in a tournament setting after the patch. And I'm really curious to see what Strelok is going to do against this Broodlord army.
Well, we kind of saw a little bit of what could happen when Moon was playing, but as we already mentioned, Moon didn't seem on top of his game. Lucky, on the other hand, is playing quite well now in the second map. The first map was definitely not the Lucky that I was used to observe. So let's see what we are going to witness as soon as Lucky is going for the Broodlords. He's going for the main base right now. He's trying to get in there, and there are a couple of tanks, but I have to say he's doing a lot of damage. Here come the Infestors with the Infested Swarm Eggs. At the same time, Strelok is pushing down to the left side of the map, trying to take on Lucky's expansion. 160 supply against 168 Broodlords in the making. The base is down.
Yeah, 4th base falls. I'm not sure that I approve of this choice to counter. Strelok has an opportunity right now to really do a lot of damage. He lost some units outside of his natural, but he took no infrastructural damage there. And in exchange, he got an expansion. He got some drones.
Oh, but look at all those infested Marines. What? Look at the third. This is crazy.
Okay, I take it back.
The expansion is dead, and the second Orman Center is probably going to die as well.
It does go down. So, yeah, that whole line about not doing infrastructural damage, just throw that one out the window.
Pulling off a destiny.
Yep, kills 2 command centers there. Beautiful job by Lucky. I didn't even see those infestors burrow.
That was insane. So, well, at the beginning he didn't do all that much damage, but suddenly those infestors just dropped. How many infestors was there?
It was
like 30?
Infinity.
30,
it was
40?
a lot of infested Terrans, and now Strelok, he's going to have to lift his main down to that 3rd base. God, he lost 2 command centers. That hurts so bad. I don't know if he can do anything from here because the Broodlords are out.
And he doesn't have any Vikings. Well, he has 4. He has
3 or 4. Okay, 4 Vikings. He's building 3 at a time. So he's working on an answer, but it's going to be so hard.
The fungals. That's the first one. Oh, Lucky, you need to be a little bit more careful with your infestors. I like the transfuses, but still, nice fungaling the Vikings. Now, really good job. 200 supply against 140.
Man, Queen's coming out and doing some work. Every Viking dies.
Yeah, and Queens should do some work. I really dislike that in the late game they're usually so lazy. So actually moving their ass over there to help the Broodlords out is something that I really appreciate. Another transfuse. I like it.
Another Ling poke here at the back of Strelok's 3rd, and once again he's going to do some damage. This time he finds a completely undefended 3rd base.
He's doing a lot of damage, especially with the 2-2 upgrades that he already has. Look at how many SCVs his opponent is losing.
Indeed. Oh, Broodlords, though, a bit exposed. Marine's going to poke forward and pick off a couple.
There was a beautiful fungal to the right as well. Lucky is now taking Strelok apart.
Yeah, he looks like a different player in this game.
Yeah,
completely. This is an absolute turnaround. No bad supply blocks, no sloppy or questionable decision making. GG from Strelok, and Lucky looking damn good on this map. Made it look like a Zerg map.
Yeah, indeed. That was really, really well played, and you said it just a second ago, a completely different player. The first game, Lucky engaged Strelok every single time when he was sieged up and made so many mistakes, and this time we've seen Lucky just perform at another level. So Strelok really had a lot to deal with, and he was not able to do so. Really well played.
So guys,